Chapter 6, Burn Rome and Head Home. Marcus stands alone beneath the harsh overhead lights, sleeves rolled up, tools scattered across the workbench. Nathan's mech suit looms in front of him. Frame unfolded now, chest cavity open, servers exposed like ribs. He works methodically, rerouting power conduits for faster deployment, reinforcing the left arm's hydraulic actuators. Nathan always favored right-handed rifle work, swapping the standard battery pack for a higher capacity quantum cell he'd been saving for emergencies. Better armor integrity, faster response. Enough strength to carry 2 wounded men if it comes to that. His hands move with the certainty of a master builder, but his eyes keep drifting to the doorway, to the corridor that leads to his room where James is playing. A small voice pipes up from behind him.
"Where are you going, Dad?"
Marcus freezes mid-weld, sparks dying on the plating. He doesn't turn around right away. When he does, it's just a glance over his shoulder, smile forced, voice calm and reassuring.
"Nowhere, buddy. Just updating Nathan's mech suit, making it stronger for when he gets back."
James stands in the doorway, barefoot, in the oversized t-shirt, holding a toy wrench Marcus built him years ago.
"Okay, Dad."
He smiles, satisfied, and patters back down the hall, humming the theme from that old storybook. Marcus watches him go, then he turned back to the mech, the smile falling away like a dropped mask. He rests a grease-smudged hand on the cold metal chest plate, shame settling heavy in his gut. The first real lie he's told his son since bringing him home. Tonight, once James is asleep, once the lab lights dim, and the boy's breathing evens out, Marcus will seal the bedroom door with the emergency protocol, arm the internal defenses, and step through the portal alone in Nathan's upgraded mech. A quick jump to Rome, find Nathan and redact, pull them out, back before dawn. James will never know he left. Marcus stares at the mech's blank visor a long moment, judging himself in its dark reflection. Then he picks up the torch again and keeps working because the alternative is leaving his brothers behind, and that's a price he's not willing to pay. Not ever. The suit hums softly as the new power cell locks into place. Rome, 1867. Chaos in the streets. Smoke billows from the shattered Colosseum, screams and the crackle of fire echoing through the narrow streets. Panicked crowds surge past Nathan and redact as they push against the flow, coats flapping, faces grim. Nathan grabs Redact's arm, pulling him into a side alley away from the madness.
"Follow me to the blind woman's shop. Move."
They run, dodging overturned carts, papal guards shouting orders, citizens staring skyward at the burning ruin. They burst into the dim antiquity shop, door banging against the wall. Both men lean on their knees, catching ragged breaths. Redact wipes sweat and sand from his face.
"I think that got a tad bit out of hand."
Nathan rolls his eyes, straightens, and turns to the old woman behind her counter. She's calmly arranging small statues as if the city isn't burning a few blocks away. Nathan reaches into his coat pocket, pulls out a charred fragment of fabric and flesh, part of a burned contract or insignia torn from the explosion's aftermath, and tosses it onto the counter.
"All right. It's done. He's dead."
The old woman lifts the blackened chunk delicately, brings it close to her face, and inhales. A slow, satisfied smile spreads across her lips. Redact's face twists in open disgust. The woman lowers the fragment.
"I suppose you've completed your end of the deal."
She holds out the portal gun, matte black and gleaming innocently in her weathered hand. Nathan doesn't hesitate. He steps forward and takes it. Finally, the two can return home. Then he spins on his heel. Redact is already at the door. As they step out into the street, the old woman's voice follows them, dry and amused.
What? No tip?
They don't answer. 2 blocks away, they duck into a shadowed alley between crumbling palazzi, heart still hammering. Nathan leans against the cool stone wall, flips open the portal gun's calibration rings, and begins twisting them to the lab's emergency recall frequency. Redact slumps beside him, pressing a hand to his bandaged chest, breathing hard.
Next time, we negotiate a lower price.
Nathan snorts, not looking up from the glowing display.
Next time, we bring more explosives.
The device hums. Violet light begins to bloom in the air before them. Familiar, welcoming. Home. Nathan glances at Redact.
Ready?
Redact pushes off the wall, standing straight despite the pain.
Born ready.
The portal widens, showing the faint outline of Abiotic Labs' portal bay beyond. They step forward together. Back in the lab, Marcus, geared up in the night, mech suit humming beside him, has no idea the cavalry is already on its way home. Abiotic Labs, Portal Bay. The violet disk blooms wide and steady in the center of the bay, humming with familiar energy. Marcus stands just outside it, 7 feet tall. Inside Nathan's upgraded mech suit, servos whirring softly, visor glowing faint blue in the dim light. He's ready. 1 step and he'll be in 1867 Rome, pulling his brothers out himself. The portal ripples. Nathan and Redact stumble through first. Coats torn and dusty, faces streaked with blood and sand, smelling of smoke, sweat, and ancient stone. Marcus startles mech foot, clanging heavily as he jerks backward. The suit's gyros overcorrect. He windmills massive metal arms, catches a nearby work table with one gauntlet, crashing, sends tools, blueprints, and a half-finished coffee mug flying in a spectacular explosion of splintered wood and scattered parts. The mech hits the deck with a thunderous boom. Marcus, flat on his back inside it, staring up at the ceiling lights. Redact takes one look, drops to his knees, and starts laughing. Deep, uncontrollable belly laughs that turn into coughing as his chest wound protests. Nathan winces, stepping over the wreckage.
Oh man, not the suit.
Marcus's voice comes muffled and metallic from inside the helmet.
A little help?
Nathan and Redact move to either side, grabbing armored limbs and hauling. The suit whirs and clanks as they lever Marcus upright. Redact is still wheezing with laughter, wiping tears from his eyes with a bloody sleeve.
All right, I'm done.
He gasps, then lets out one more sharp bark before clamping it down. Marcus finally stands tall again, visor retracting with a hiss. He looks down at the destroyed table, then at Nathan.
How the hell do you walk in this shit, Nate?
Nathan's tired face cracks into a genuine grin, the first real one in days.
Practice and not getting startled by ghosts coming home.
He steps to the suit's back, fingers dancing over the release latches.
Here, let me help you out of that thing.
Marcus exhales, tension bleeding off his shoulders.
I'd like that.
The chest plate hisses open. Marcus climbs out, rolling his neck, normal height again. The 3 men stand in the wreckage of the portal bay, battered, bleeding, exhausted, but together. Whole. Redact finally straightens, wiping his eyes one last time.
Next time, we take a vacation.
Nathan snorts.
Somewhere without arenas or exploding politicians.
Marcus looks at them both, voice rough.
You're late.
Nathan shrugs.
Traffic.
Redact grins.
And a small matter of killing a historical figure.
Marcus stares.
You're explaining that later.
Nathan claps him on the shoulder.
Deal. But first shower, food, and about 3 days of sleep.
Redact nods toward the corridor.
And someone tell James his uncles are home.
Marcus's face softens completely.
Yeah,
He says, quietly.
let's go do that.
The portal disk winks out behind them. The lab lights hum, steady and warm. The family scattered across worlds and time is finally, truly back together. The lab lights are dimmed to a warm amber glow, the way they always are for late-night debriefs. The portal bay is quiet now. No humming rifts, no alarms, just the soft clink of coffee mugs and the occasional creak of chairs. Marcus, Nathan, and Redact sit around the big central work table, the one that survived explosions, portal mishaps, and more than one all-night build session. A half-eaten tray of sandwiches and a fresh pot of coffee sit in the middle. James is fast asleep down the hall, door sealed with a soft lockdown. Marcus quietly disengaged once the team was whole again. Nathan leans back in his chair, boots propped on a crate, a fresh ice pack pressed to a bruised jaw. Redact slouches opposite him, shirt open to let the new bandages breathe, a mug cradled carefully in both hands to spare his ribs. Marcus sits between them, elbows on the table, listening, sometimes laughing, sometimes shaking his head in disbelief as they take turns recounting the last few days in 1867 Rome. Nathan starts with the arena sign-up and the blind thief's impossible price. Redact jumps in with the fight describing the giant in vivid, exaggerated detail, complete with hand gestures that make him wince and laugh at the same time.
And then, bam, I drop out of nowhere, knife straight down like a meteor. Crowd lost their damn minds.
Nathan picks up the explosion, the planted charge, the guard's distraction, the fireball that took out Armelini's box. Marcus whistles low.
You two blew up a piece of history.
Nathan shrugs.
History had it coming.
Redact grins.
Besides, the old lady got her proof. Burnt laurel crown and all.
They go on about the rabbit in the shed, the coffee that tasted like home, the blind woman sniffing charred flesh like it was Sunday roast. Marcus laughs until his eyes water at the mental image, then grows quieter when they describe the moment Redact took the bullet meant for Nathan. The table falls still for a beat. Redact breaks it with a soft cough and a crooked smile.
Worth it. Got us home, didn't it?
Nathan reaches over and claps him gently on the uninjured shoulder. Marcus looks at both of them, really looks. The bruises, the bandages, the exhaustion etched in every line. He lifts his mug.
To coming home.
Nathan and Redact raise theirs.
To coming home. To coming home.
They drink. The stories wind down as the hours stretch toward dawn. Voices get lower, laughter softer. Eventually, Nathan's head nods forward. Redact's eyes close, mug still in his hands. Marcus watches them a long moment, a quiet, fierce gratitude settling in his chest. He stands, drapes spare lab coats over their shoulders like blankets, and dims the lights further. Tomorrow there will be questions about timelines, consequences, the blind thief who may or may not still have a charred souvenir. Tonight there is only this, the lab humming gently around them. 3 brothers, scarred, stubborn, unbreakable, finally at rest. And down the hall, a little boy, sleeping safe, dreaming of stories his father will read him in the morning. For the first time in a long while, the portals stay dark. The family is home. Morning simulated light filters through the high reinforced windows of Abiotic Lab's kitchen alcove, turning the steam from the coffee pot into lazy golden spirals. Marcus stands at the counter in an old faded work shirt, pouring his third mug. Black, no sugar, the way he's drunk it since the day James was born. He mutters to the machine,
Coffee for my coffee hole.
The door, a hiss is open behind him. Redact shuffles in, hair sticking up, bandages peeking from under a loose hoodie, drawn like a moth to the aroma.
Hey, Marcus, you've summoned me with that mystic brew.
Marcus chuckles, the sound warm and tired, and motions to the small table.
Sit. I'll pour you a cup.
They settle across from each other, mugs steaming between them. For a long minute, neither speaks, just the quiet clink of ceramic and the soft hum of the lab waking up beyond the walls. Marcus finally breaks the silence, voice careful.
So, back at the compound.
He hesitates, searching for the right words.
What causes the vanishes? You know, like when you just disappears.
Redact stares into his coffee, watching the dark surface ripple with his breath. Then he starts talking, low and steady.
You remember years ago when the lab didn't want to swap me to your shift so we wouldn't stay sane on night shift? One night you'd crashed early, so I headed down to run some tests, brain function stuff, trying to convince management to let me stay days with you guys.
He takes a slow sip.
On my way, there was this glow coming from one of the old cubicles. I went to check it out. Next thing I know, the late-night guard bought a big stupid thing with a 12-gauge arm blast the side of my head.
Marcus's grip tightens on his mug.
I couldn't move, just ringing in my ears, blood everywhere. I rolled over to get clear, and my hand landed in that glowing orb. Everything went white.
Redact pauses, eyes distant.
I woke up in my bunk. No wound, no blood, heart beating like nothing happened. I thought I'd dreamed it, until I did some digging. Found a split in the lab's main power conduit, quantum leakage, unstable. I stuck my hand in on purpose one night. Same flash, same reset.
He meets Marcus's eyes.
When I stray too far from the lab's core field, it kills me. The bond pulls me back, reboots me, like hitting reset on a machine.
Marcus sits frozen. Redact forces a grin that doesn't quite reach his eyes.
But hey, forfeit that heavy stuff. Let's celebrate James finally being home.
He stands, clapping Marcus on the shoulder as he passes.
I'll go drag Nate out of whatever corner he's passed out in.
Marcus nods absently, staring into his coffee, long after Redact's footsteps fade down the hall. The mystic brew has gone cold in his hands. He thinks about every time Redact vanished and reappeared, always saving them, always paying a price no one knew he was paying. Marcus exhales slowly, eyes fixed on nothing. The lab gave them everything. It's taken something, too. And now he knows what. The lounge area of Abiotic Labs is softer than the rest of the facility cushioned benches along the walls. A low table, scarred from years of coffee mugs and late-night card games, warm, indirect lighting that makes the concrete feel almost homey. Marcus pauses in the doorway, coffee mug still in hand, and just watches. Nathan, Redact, and James are sprawled on the floor in a loose circle, playing cards spread between them like a colorful battlefield. James sits cross-legged, tongue poking out in concentration. Nathan leans back against the couch, sleeves rolled up, a rare, easy grin on his face. Redact bandages hidden under a loose hoodie holds his cards like a poker shark. Redact slams his hand down with theatrical flair.
You're all going down. Full house.
He spreads the cards triumphantly. Nathan and James look at each other, then burst out laughing. James is high and bright, Nathan's low and rumbling. Marcus feels the smile as it spreads across his own face, slow and deep, the kind that starts in the chest. He walks over, lowers himself to the floor beside James, and peeks at the boy's discarded hand. Leaning in, he whispers with a smirk,
Buddy, you could have won.
James's eyes widen as he looks at his own cards again, a straight flush hiding in plain sight.
Aw, man.
The room erupts. Redact throws his head back with a groan that turns into laughter. Nathan reaches over to ruffle James's hair. James flops dramatically onto his back, giggling. Marcus joins in, the sound mixing with theirs until the lounge feels too small to hold it all. For a few perfect minutes, there are no portals, no green rifts, no mercenaries or arenas or impossible prices. There's just the slap of cards on concrete, the smell of fresh coffee, and four voices laughing together. Marcus puts an arm around James's shoulders, pulls him close. His family scarred, strange, unbreakable rejoicing in the simplest, hardest won thing of all, time together. The next morning, kitchen is filled with the warm smells of butter, toasted bread, and frying eggs. James sits at the small table, legs swinging, happily devouring the fried egg sandwich Marcus just slid in front of him, runny yolk, a little salt and pepper, cut diagonally exactly how he likes it. Redact leans against the counter, arms crossed, watching with an exaggerated grimace. He leans down toward James, pulling a comically disgusted face.
Kid, those eggs smell like farts.
James giggles mid-bite, mouth full, nearly choking on laughter. Redact straightens up, turns to Marcus with the same goofy grin.
Now where's mine?
Marcus barks a laugh, shaking his head as he flips another egg in the pan. Fills the room light. Normal. The kind of morning they've all earned 100 times over. Then Nathan appears in the doorway, expression unreadable. He catches Marcus's eye and gives a subtle nod toward the hall. Marcus wipes his hands on a towel, smile fading. He ruffles James's hair as he passes.
Be right back, buddy. Redact, don't let him steal your sandwich when it's ready.
Redact salutes with a spatula he swiped from the counter. Nathan waits until they're out of earshot, then pulls Marcus aside just past the kitchen threshold. His voice is low, worried lines creasing his brow.
I think there's something in the command center you'll want to see.
Marcus's face goes serious instantly.
What's wrong?
Nathan doesn't answer, just motions with his head. Marcus glances back once toward the kitchen, James still giggling at something Redact said, egg yolk on his chin, and then follows Nathan down the corridor. Behind them, Redact's playful grin slowly slips away. He watches the two men disappear around the corner, spatula forgotten in his hand. The laughter dies in his throat. He stares at the empty doorway, zoned out, mind already racing through worst-case scenarios. James, oblivious, takes another happy bite of his sandwich, humming to himself. The lab's morning peace hangs by a thread. Marcus and Nathan step into the command center, the door hissing shut behind them with a soft finality. The room is dimmer than usual, lit only by the blue glow of the central holographic table. Marcus approaches the multiverse map slowly, eyes narrowing as the projection resolves. It's a detailed blueprint render of Abiotic Labs itself, every corridor, every bay, every room outlined in crisp wireframe. Everything looks normal at first glance. Then Marcus sees it. An extra heat signature small, humanoid. Faint but unmistakable, moving slowly through the sub-level storage corridors. Not in any of the occupied areas, not matching James, Nathan, Redact, or himself. Someone or something is inside the lab with them. And it's not supposed to be. Marcus stares at the blinking red dot, face going blank, breath caught in his chest. Nathan stands beside him, arms crossed, voice low.
Started showing up about 20 minutes ago. No portal activity, no breach alerts, it just appeared.
Marcus doesn't respond right away. His hand hovers over the console, zooming in on the signature's path. It's heading slowly, deliberately toward the main living quarters. Toward the kitchen. Toward James. Back in the kitchen, James wipes his mouth with the back of his hand, satisfied, then carefully carries his plate to the sink. He has to stand on tiptoes to set it on the counter beside Redact. Redact is motionless at the sink, hands submerged in soapy water, staring into the bubbles like they hold answers. His mind is miles away, replaying Nathan's worried expression, Marcus following without question. Something's wrong. Then James's voice pipes up beside him.
Want to watch Super Sergeant with me?
Redact blinks, snaps back to the present. He dries his hands quickly and turns with a forced grin.
Sure, man. Go get it started. I'm gonna finish up these darn dirty dishes.
James salutes sharply, a big smile on his face, then sticks his arms out like airplane wings and flies out of the kitchen with a whooshing sound, heading for the lounge. The moment he's gone, Redact's grin evaporates. He stares down the empty hallway toward the command center, water still dripping from his fingers. The lab feels too quiet. Marcus and Nathan bolt from the command center, boots pounding the corridor. Marcus pulls ahead, fear driving him faster than thought. James, alone, somewhere in the lab with an unknown intruder. They skid into the kitchen doorway, breathing hard. Redact is at the sink, sleeves rolled, hands still in soapy water, staring blankly at the bubbles. Marcus's voice comes out sharp, urgent.
Redact, we have a breach. Something's in the lower levels. Signatures moving up, heading this way.
He scans the room quickly.
Where's James?
Redact turns, face already paling.
He went to watch a show in the living room.
A scream cuts through the lab high, terrified, unmistakably James's. All three men move at once. They sprint down the short hall and burst into the living room. The cartoon is still playing on the screen, bright colors, cheerful music, but the couch is empty. In the center of the room, the air shimmers sickly green. A portal, exactly like the ones that took James before, snaps shut with a final mocking crackle. Gone. Marcus drops to his knees, a broken sound tearing from his throat. His hands hit the floor, fingers curling against the cold concrete as sobs shake him. Nathan is there instantly, crouching beside him, one steady hand resting on Marcus's shoulder, silent, grounding, offering the only comfort he can. Redact stands frozen in the doorway, face drained of color, eyes wide with horror. His voice comes out small, sick.
He asked me to watch it with him. I should have just followed him.
The words hang heavy with guilt. Then the dam breaks. Redact's fists clench. He grabs a side table and hurls it against the wallwood, splintering. A lamp follows, shattering. Books, cushions, anything in reach, he throws them with furious, helpless force, roaring wordlessly at the empty air where the portal was. Nathan watches him, crouched with his arms still over Marcus's back, sad, understanding in his eyes. He doesn't stop him. He knows the feeling too well. Marcus stays on his knees, staring at the spot on the floor where the green light faded. Tears falling silently now, shoulders shaking. The cheerful cartoon music keeps playing in the background, absurd, cruel. James is gone again, taken right from under their roof, from the safest place in any world. The lab has failed them, and the hunt begins anew. Hours bleed away in the silent living room. Marcus hasn't moved from the spot where the green portal closed. He sits on the floor, back against the couch, eyes fixed on the empty air that swallowed his son. The cartoon still flickers on the screen, Super Sergeant saving the day, over and over, but the sound is muted now. Nathan enters quietly, footsteps soft on the concrete. He kneels beside Marcus, resting a hand on his shoulder.
Look, I can't say anything that'll make this feel better, but we will do everything in our power to find James. Every damn thing.
He pauses, voice gentler.
Redact, he's taking it rough too. Blames himself.
Marcus looks up slowly, eyes red-rimmed, and nods. He understands that kind of pain all too well. He pushes to his feet, heavy, and follows Nathan down the hall to the command center. Redact sits alone at one of the secondary consoles, staring at an old safety video that's been looping for years. An ancient forklift training clip, complete with cheesy narration and grainy footage. The fork lowers, raises, lowers again, over and over. Marcus walks up behind him, reaches down, and pulls Redact into a standing hug. The two men hold on tight, two friends, brothers, grieving the same boy. Tears come freely now, silent and fierce. Marcus eases back, hands on Redact's shoulders, meeting his eyes.
Redact, you know it's not your fault. You couldn't have known the lab would be breached. None of us could have known.
Redact's voice cracks.
The boy just wanted me to watch TV with him. Just wanted a little time with me.
Marcus's grip tightened, steady and sure.
James knows you love him. I know you love him. I appreciate every minute you gave him. Every story, every laugh, every silly face.
Redact chokes on the words, barely getting them out.
Boy was like a son to me. Never could have kids of my own. Watching James grow, that brought me joy.
Marcus pulls him in one more time, strong, wordless, the hug of brothers who've carried each other through hell. Then he steps back, wipes his face, and straightens.
Why don't we go get our boy back?
Redact looks at him, eyes still wet, but something hard and determined ignites behind the grief. He lifts his fist.
Fucking A.
Nathan steps up beside them, quiet until now, and claps a hand on each of their shoulders. The three men turn to the multiverse map. The green residual trace from the living room portal pulses faintly weak, but there. They lean in together. Marcus tracing energy decay patterns. Nathan cross-referencing temporal anchors. Redact pulling up quantum entanglement logs. Plans form in low, urgent voices. Tools are gathered. Weapons checked. Portal keys calibrated. The lab hums back to life around them, not with laughter this time, but with purpose. The command center is lit only by the cold glow of the holographic table and the endless scroll of data streams. All night they've worked, Marcus, Nathan, and Redact hunched over the consoles, tracing the green portal signature through layer after layer of encryption, temporal drift, and dimensional noise. Scans run. Back traces fail. Residuals decay. By the time false dawn creeps through the high viewports, Nathan and Redact have finally surrendered to exhaustion, dragging themselves to bunks with quiet promises to relieve Marcus in a few hours. Marcus stays. He can't leave the table, can't sleep. Every time he closes his eyes, he sees James's face in the moment before the green light took him. He sits alone now, elbows on the console, face buried in his hands. Quiet tears slip through his fingers, silent, helpless. Then a loud, insistent beep slices through the hush. Marcus jolts upright, knocking over the nearby trash bin in his rush. Cans and wrappers scatter across the floor. He's at the table in 2 strides, fingers flying over controls, decrypting the new packet the array just pulled from the noise. The signature resolves. Coordinates lock. Marcus steps back as if pushed. His face drains of color. The destination isn't another pocket dimension. Not a medieval fortress or gaslit Rome. It's the surface. Earth. Or what's left of it. The world above, the one they all fled decades ago after the resource wars, turned the planet into a radioactive graveyard. Continents scarred by fallout. Cities reduced to glowing ruins, the sky choked with ash. The Great Bomb and everything that followed had made the surface uninhabitable. All upward portals were sealed, restricted, buried under layers of international and interdimensional law. No one goes topside. Not anymore. Marcus zooms in on the heat signatures, sweeping the wasteland grid. They're 100 kilometers northwest of what used to be Las Vegas, Nevada. A small child-sized signature, James moving fast across the irradiated desert. Then it blinks out, vanishes completely. Marcus stares confused, heart hammering. Underground, shielded, another portal jump? The door hisses open behind him. Nathan and Redact shuffle in, eyes bleary but alert. Redact carries 3 mugs of coffee. He hands one to Marcus without a word.
So, what's the news?
Marcus turns slowly. His eyes are hollow, lost.
He's on the surface.
The words drop like stones. Nathan freezes mid-sip. Redact's mug stops halfway to his mouth. Nathan finds his voice first.
How the hell is that possible? All portals to the surface were restricted sealed long ago.
Marcus meets their stares, voice flat.
Apparently, whoever took James has been here before.
Redact's eyes widen.
You mean in the lab?
Marcus looks at him blank, chilled.
Yeah, the lab.
Silence swallows the room. 3 men stand around the glowing table, scratching their heads, turning over the impossible truth. Someone or something knows Abiotic Labs well enough to breach it from the inside. And they've taken James to the one place no one was ever supposed to return. The dead surface of Earth. Marcus exhales slowly, sets his untouched coffee down. Nathan cracks his knuckles. Redact rolls his shoulders, wincing at the pull of bandages. No one says it out loud, but they all think it. Time to go topside. The armory lights flicker on as the 3 men enter. No words needed, just the grim rhythm of preparation. This isn't a pocket dimension or a historical jaunt. This is the surface. The real world above, scarred, poisoned, unforgiving. Redact pulls the heavy radiation suits from the sealed lockers, thick lead-lined fabric with reinforced joints, built-in dosimeters, and full-face respirators that hiss when sealed. They're old stock, designed for the evacuation decades ago, but still functional. He hands one to each man, checking seals and filters with practiced care. Nathan fills reinforced packs, dehydrated meals, iodine tablets, condensed water bladders, extra filters, medical kits heavy on anti-radiation drugs, ammo crates clank as he loads magazines for carbines, sidearms, and a compact breaching shotgun, spare batteries for lights, Geiger counters, and comms. Marcus nods toward the far corner where Nathan's mech suit stands folded like a silent sentinel. Nathan meets his eyes, a tired grin breaking through the tension. He nods back. The mech will come. They suit up in silence boots, sealing, gloves locking, visors tested. The suits are bulky, hot, but they'll buy hours, maybe days on the surface before the radiation starts cooking them from the inside. Weapons slung, pack secured, mech frame collapsed and strapped to Nathan's back like oversized armor. They're ready, or as ready as anyone can be for a dead world. They file out of the armory and head to the kitchen one last time. Redact has the stove going, a big pot of rich vegetable beef soup simmering, the closest thing to comfort food the lab stores can offer. The smell fills the small space. Savory, warm, almost normal. The three men sit around the table in full gear, visors up, gloves off spoons, scraping bowls in quiet unison. No one speaks. They eat slowly, deliberately, tasting every bite. Memories in broth and steam. Marcus thinks of James's laugh echoing in this same kitchen just yesterday. Nathan remembers late-night card games, Redact's terrible bluffs. Redact watches the steam rise, thinking of every time he bounced James on his knee or built blanket forts with him. If this goes wrong, if the radiation, the raiders, the unknowns up there, take them. They want this moment to stick. A good meal. Brothers together. The bowls empty. Spoons set down. Visors lower with soft clicks. Marcus stands first.
Let's go get our boy.
Nathan and Redact rise with him. The lab doors seal behind them as they head to the restricted lift, the one that only goes one direction now. Up. To the surface. To whatever hell is waiting.